But what the story within the story I was getting back to is, what we would do is go sell at the thing. Robert would sell $50 to $70 million every show. 50 to 70 million of orders. And the smartest thing Robert did, it was genius, they would print out this big book of all the orders. He said, go give me all the orders from the Atlanta show. And the orders would come out like this by SKU item, sorted by sales volume. Right? Sorted by sales volume. Robert would take his thumb, and he would go, first time I saw it do it, was just, gave me a chubby. It was awesome. He'd take his thumb up half that, and tear it in half. And he'd say, order this, and ship it. Send an email or a letter to everybody who bought this. Tell them that we did a market test and it didn't sell well and we don't want to sell them a loser. People loved him. Because he didn't give them losers. Everything he bought from Wayne sold. He had a market test because all the buyers bought what he had in the showroom. He did market test it. It wasn't a lie. Right? That's the kind of crap you got to think about. That's how badly people want the new. So here's what you got to ask yourself. Are you selling improvement or are you selling opportunity? I'll explain while improvement sucks. And a lot of you guys are like, well, I don't sell improvement. I sell against pain. That's what the secret is. The secret's selling against pain. Right? How many of y'all sell a product that gets somebody out of pain? One way or another. All right. Here's the problem with that. There is a problem with it. I've done it before. This little girl has polio. In the 1950s, the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world sold polio drugs. They made more money than anything else in the world. Right? But they cured polio. You know what happened to the drug company's sales? They went to zero. They cured polio. Guess what's been cured since then? Nothing. Because the drug companies realized in the 50s, when you sell the cure for the pain, the customer's gone. Right? I try not to sell to pain people anymore. That the joke is that every drug dealer knows the money's not in, the money's in the come. The money's not in the cure, the money's in the come. The money's in the opportunity. The money's in, drug dealers sell feel-good drugs. You can go back and get another hit later, right? They're not curing anything. Way bigger market. When you sell the cure, either A, you're full of shit and your thing doesn't work, and you got people hate you, or B, your thing works and you don't have a customer no more. Right? So you got to go out every day and find a new customer. You got to churn it. It's hard to build a business like that unless you're selling low-dollar consumer goods that are distributed throughout retail stores. If you're in a business that solves a pain problem, you're up against a pretty tough set of odds. Because you don't have any repeat buyers. You can't build any momentum. Right? That's what's wrong with pain. Strategy versus opportunity. How many of y'all sell strategy? Nobody's raising their hand anymore. Come on. I know you sell strategy, and some of you guys sell strategy. Strategy versus opportunity. This is one of my favorite things. Consulting. If you're not part of the solution, there's damn good money to be made in prolonging the problem, right? This is why strategy and consulting typically don't sell that well. Not to most people, not to the masses anyway. For a couple of reasons. The guy's got to eventually look in the mirror and go, why didn't I think of that? If I'm selling purely a strategy to someone, like I'm selling to you, I'm calling you all dumb. Now, ambitious people don't mind being called dumb and learning new things and new ways of doing things. Not dumb, but you understand what I'm saying. You were ignorant to a process. Now you won't be ignorant to that process. Right? So, but the unwashed masses can't deal with that. Why? How many of y'all have ever hired a consultant? A few? Yeah. Most people don't. I don't really like consultants. I don't ever hire them. Maybe that's a mistake, but I rarely ever hire them. You know what a consultant's going to want to do? They're going to tell me what I need to do with my business or what I need to do to fix my thing, which I probably already know, and then they're going to get on a plane and go home. They don't help me none. Right? I need them to do it for me. If he wants to stay around and get the shovel and dig the ditch, I'm cool with that, but they're not. Right? So if you're selling strategy, you're basically telling them that they should have already known this. Right? So it decreases their status. So let's talk about Ted's situation. I'll dramatize this particular adventure. So here's Ted's situation. Ted is in a horrible marriage. He's been married, he's in the 7-year itch, let's call it. And he's just unhappy, right? He's unhappy. So what's he going to do about it? Well, probably he's just going to stay there. But let's assume that he's along a point that we'll talk about in a little bit of boredom to where he's decided he must take action. Something has to be done. It's a critical point. That's where you find most of your buyers, by the way, is at a critical point. They're at a crossroads. Okay? He's at a crossroads. So he's unhappy with his current relationship. So he has a few things that he can do from an opportunity standpoint. These are all opportunities, from the worst to the best. The first thing that he can do is bolt on an opportunity to what he already has. Now, I'll show you examples of how this works in business and other things, but in this particular case, that's a paint job. Or, that's not really a paint job, that's improvement. A bolt-on might be a new stereo system, right? He's going to bolt something on to what he already has. In other words, he's going to take on a mistress. Right? That's one solution. That's an opportunity. Right? If that opportunity presents itself, there's a real good chance if you find a man or a woman unhappy in their relationship and that opportunity presents itself, there's a fairly good chance that they're going to seize upon that opportunity. Right? A friend of mine teaches people in the physical therapy space how to get more physical therapy patients. Guess what? They don't want no more physical therapy patients. Because they're making $20 an hour working on physical therapy patients. This is a huge mistake that we all make, right? We all make it. If you were going to go to the physical therapy space, before I talked this morning, what would you have tried to sell them? Marketing to help them get more patients, right? Last damn thing they want in the world. They don't want no more patients. Where's David Phelps at? How many more patients do dentists want?
Well, they think they want more.
Yeah.
But they really don't.
Yeah. So they really don't. Because they're either unhappy with what they're doing. In the physical therapist space, particularly, they're unhappy because they ain't making no damn money. They're squeezed between the insurance companies and everybody else. They ain't making no money. So my guy created a bolt-on opportunity to sell other equipment, tools, supplements, things like that inside that business. Now, there's a couple reasons why bolt-ons are easy to sell and why people will buy them. That's one option you can give to them. This one's one of my coolest bolt-ons I've seen in a long time. I wish I couldn't find a picture that really showed it, what it really was. Does anybody know what they're doing? Yeah, doing nails. You know where they're doing it? They're doing it, huh? No. They're doing it inside the H2O car wash in Austin, Texas. Right? Hugely popular. Made national news. They got a bolt-on nail salon business inside a car wash. You got 30 minutes while you're washing your car to get your nails done. All right? It's a bolt-on business. They also have a guy that does windshield crack repair out front. Bolt-on business. Right? Here's the big benefit to a bolt-on business. There's no pain of disconnect. The guy can screw around with the mistress and not leave his wife. Right? There's no pain of disconnect. The second is dream replacement. So why did Ted get married in the first place? Assuming, he got married for good reasons. Because he had the dream of romance, of spontaneity. Do you think he thought he might get a lot of sex? We all think that, There's the second option. He and his wife can start swinging. Right? They can meet with other couples. They can share. They can have an open relationship. That's an option. Works for a lot of people. Right, Hubert? Hubert's like, this shit's being recorded.
I have no idea. How do you sell that shit to your wife?
That's Lance will teach you. All you got to have, it's only important that you have a story, right, Lance?
What's that?
Is that right? When you told me one night, when you're convincing your wife, ask her to have a menage a trois, it's only important that you have a story?
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
It's being recorded, Barry.
yeah, I know. But seriously, here's the thing. This is a total reinvention, a dream replacement, right? This way, they stay married, but they get a part that's being fulfilled, that's not being fulfilled. Okay? And while this sounds radical and crazy to a lot of you, maybe not so radical and crazy to others. Right? Because the pain of splitting up, they may really like each other. They just don't love each other anymore. Or maybe they really like each other, but they don't find each other attractive or whatever. This works for some people. And if you talk to people that do this, they'll tell you, most of them will tell you, that they started doing it at a point when their marriage was otherwise on decline and almost out the door. It was a replacement. So they're still married. Basically, a replacement is keeping the wrapper and changing everything inside of it. Does that make sense? Okay? And that's an opportunity. Here's one of the best examples of this known to man. What does Subway sell? Weight loss. They don't sell sandwiches. They were failing miserably as a sandwich shop. They would have been out of business. They got Jared, they did a total reinvention, and they started selling weight loss. Do you see that now? That's a reinvention. Still a sandwich shop. Still got the sandwich shop wrapper on the outside. But they started swinging. They're doing something completely different. They're not really targeting this, delicious isn't even in their shit anymore. It's nutritious. It's healthy. Right? Fresh. You know how long Jared's been around, by the way? 15 years. He just has 15-year anniversary with him. Darius Rucker. Anybody know who that is? He's now a country singer. Dream replacement. Hootie and the Blowfish. Right? I still want to be a singer real bad. Try country. Reinvent yourself. Right? Who saw this? How to Sell 100 Books a Day. Right? #1 book system. They're next door right now. This is a dream replacement. This is a dream replacement offer. You've tried internet marketing. It didn't work for you. You didn't get it all done right. Write a book, put it on Amazon. They're going to do most of the work for you. Which is true, by the way. Fortunately, happens to be true. But we went out to you know who bought this? How many of you guys bought #1 book system? How many of you buy, keep your hands up if you buy like everything we sell. Yeah, okay. So a few of you. Do you notice how few? You're my best of my best of my best. How come you didn't buy it? Because you're successful probably at online marketing already. You didn't want to replace the dream. You don't need to. You're looking for greener pastures. You're looking for new things to do. Does that make sense? Is all this like helping at all? Okay. All right. It fulfills the original dream. That's the big deal with a dream replacement. It fulfills the original dream. Because the goals, the reasons why they did it. This one's always the best. Greener pastures. Right? Always the best. He just runs away with a babysitter. Easy. Right? That's what he really wants anyway. This lady wants a new car. She don't really want a new stereo system in the car, and she don't really want to, saw the back of the car off and call it a pickup truck. She just would rather have a new car. This is our society, really. We all would rather just replace whatever it is. So you guys need to be thinking about replacement and opportunities to replace things in people's lives that aren't working, not how to make the things that aren't working better. Okay? Think about how to replace the things in people's lives that aren't working. Stop thinking about how to make the things that aren't working better. Back to the dentist again. This was where I was talking about that. If you give dentists a lot more patience, it's probably the last thing in the world they really want. But I'll tell you, I know somebody that does. This is somebody else that does what you do. You do real estate, right? Yeah. I know a guy right now that's selling investments in storage units to dentists. Every month or two, you got enough money to pay down on a self-storage unit, buy yourself a self-storage unit, and eventually you will get behind a chair. You don't have to be behind that chair anymore, right? The only challenge this offer has, by the way, is working. This is working. Because they want to do something completely different, a total departure, right? What shows the most diversity in an actor or an actress? It's when they can do a role that's totally departure, right? Like, they could have got 1 million ugly chicks to play Monster. But they got Charlize Theron, who's unbelievably beautiful, right? Who saw The Fighter, the movie The Fighter? I didn't even know that was Christian Bale, The Fighter, because he's such a nice-looking guy. They had him just look like a strung-out crackhead, right? That's the beauty of that. A total departure is going to be better a lot of times, because when they're done, they're done. 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 Right? It depends on where they are in the timeline. But if they're done, right? That's the reason a lot of times when a woman will marry an alpha male, and alpha male drives her batshit crazy, when they split up, she'll start dating a more timid, feminine guy. And when she gets bored and tired with him, she'll go back to an alpha male. Same with men. Same with cars. You might buy one that's economic, the next one you buy is whatever. Because it's like, oh man, this thing's cool, but it's burning too much gas. And then eventually you buy a Prius or buy a pickup truck like I did one time, want to kill myself. Right? So if you're really disgusted, you want something, the pendulum swings all the way in the other direction. Now, the only reason this won't work, by the way, better, I've got an offer I want to do with another guy, same way, that I know is going to work better. And it's stop being a dentist, own a winery. Now, why is that going to work better? Status. Right, status. It's cool to own a winery. The hard part with a dentist is, it's hard to convince a dentist to be in the garbage can business because he went to school for 8 years. And he feels entitled. I got the sheepskin on the wall. I'm entitled. And he went to dentist school mainly for respect anyway. He wanted to be a doctor in a lot of cases. So he's dying for respect. So to convince him to go in the self-storage unit business or the porta potty business or whatever would be harder than it would be somebody else because he feels like he's deserving of a higher status. But if you teach him to be in the winery business, or in a lot of cases, like bolt-on for these guys, is the cosmetic dentistry business. Wouldn't you like to be treated like a plastic surgeon instead of a, whatever? It's fresh, it's new, it's exciting, and it's perfect for a while. That's a guy that runs off with a babysitter. Eventually he's going to find out the babysitter has a giant generational gap. He can't talk to her. She's a pain in the ass. And there's a whole new set of problems that come with her that he found with the other chick. And at the end of the day, he still ain't going to realize that the biggest common denominator in all of his failed relationships is him, which it always is, So why is improvement so hard to sell? If all that's true, improvement should be easier to sell, right? Why not just keep what you got? It's next to impossible. Nobody wants it, right? Here's why. Because it reminds them of poor past decisions. When you're selling a guy on improvement, like the dentist or the chiro or whoever, he went to dental school with the belief that I'm going to go to dental school, I'm going to get a DR in front of my name, and people are going to just automatically give me money. And I'm going to live in a big house, I'm going to have a hot wife, I'm going to have a sexy dental assistant that I'm kind of banging on the side, and life's going to be perfect. But what he didn't realize is that there's a business out there. It's a business he's got to run. And he doesn't realize he's got enemies. Who's a dentist's enemies? Insurance companies, right? Drug companies, licensure, regulation, all those things that he has to put up with, plus the hardness of running a business. And he finds out that he's not one of those 2% of people who should own a business. He's one of the other 98%. But now he's so screwed. So screwed. Right? And every time you're bringing it up to him, tell him how he ought to be doing it better, you're reminding him of a poor past decision he's already made. You'll do way better selling him on a brand new decision that he ain't ever thought about. Right? Because here's the difference between taking on a mistress, start swinging, or shag the babysitter. Couples therapy. Which would you rather do, or go fishing? If you really look at those things, that's the difference. That's an improvement offer. How hot is that? It's horrible. Who's ever been to couples counseling that can actually freely raise your hand because the spouse isn't here anymore? You know, if you've been to couples counseling, the odds are the spouse ain't here no more anyway, right? So couples therapy, I went to couples therapy and got a client out of the therapist, and eventually dated the therapist after my wife and I broke up. That's a whole different story. Great opportunity pitches sell away from the pain. Okay? So, how would a babysitter get the guy to run away with him? She just doesn't treat you the way she ought to. You're just such a good-looking man. You know, I don't see how you put up with her. She's so mean to you. This house is always a wreck. She disrespects you in front of your friends. You know, it'd be real easy. It's so easy for women. We're putty. We're nothing. It's a joke. We're jellyfish. We have no spines. They stroke our ego a little bit, we're dead. Right? But the same is true if you're talking to the physical therapist guy about buying storage units. What are you going to talk about? Are you going to talk about how storage unit business works? If you do, you're dead. You ain't going to make no money. You talk about how shitty it is to be a physical therapist. You talk about all their enemies. You rub salt in the wound. You continue them down the path that they're already going mentally until it's just at fever pitch. Their desire is at fever pitch to get the hell away from that. And the thing is, if your car breaks down on the side of the road and you got to get to work and you start walking and you got money in your pocket, guess which car you're probably going to buy? The first one you come across. You don't want the old one anymore. You just got to have a way to get back and forth to work, right? So the opportunity that's in front of them at the time is probably going to be the only one that's in front of them, especially if they weren't looking already. That's important. If you can go out, most people think, well, I'm going to wait until they go out looking for information about the self-storage business. That's a bad idea. Now they're shopping. See where I'm going? You don't want them shopping. You want to be the first guy to tell them how awful their life is and how great yours is. And why don't they just come over and do what I do? Man, that sounds fantastic. They don't go shopping then. You got them in a vacuum. All right? New opportunity is magic, fun, exciting, and pure virgin and green as Kentucky. This is greener pastures completely. Repair is a necessary evil and becomes commodity priced. This is another reason you don't want to be in the repair and improvement business or the paint business. Repair and improvement, a little different. You know, I got a foundational crack under my house right now that's leaking water, right? I just want the guy to come out and tell me the best possible opportunity that he's got to present to me. I don't want, there's no opportunity. I want to find a guy that's the most reliable, that's the cheapest, and I'm going to have him fix it. And eventually the marketplace drives that down. It drives the price of anything that's repair or improvement oriented down. All repair and improvement oriented businesses, prices shrink. Paint businesses, prices shrink because the common guy out there says, I'm going to go sell a widget that relieves this pain because they're novices, they're knuckleheads. The guys at Rolls-Royce don't give a shit about selling a Prius. They won't sell Rolls-Royce because they sell a Rolls-Royce for $250,000. They make $225,000. They can't even imagine selling a $25,000 Prius and making $800. They can't even fathom it. Right? But necessary evils all become commodity priced. You know, that Rolls, that's my Rolls, you know. That Rolls behind that chick is $350,000, right? I just bought an Escalade. It's $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $72,000 or something like that, right? How much more do you think it costs to build the Rolls Royce than to build the Escalade? I would bet you there's a $10,000 to $20,000 difference, maybe, right? Everything else that's packed into that price is opportunity. Because who's the opportunity? Where's the opportunity at in the ad? There's the opportunity right there. All right? They're showing the opportunity in the ad. They're not stupid. Most people believe their situations can't be repaired by anyone else, especially not themselves. So they're not going to believe you anyway. They don't know that they can't open storage units. You know how I opened 42 jewelry stores when I was 19 years old? Because I didn't know that you couldn't do that. That's the only reason why. If somebody came to me today and asked me to do that, I'd tell them they were crazy. I wouldn't possibly attempt it again because I know all the challenges that would be ahead of me and my odds of success would be terrible. I would never do it again today, not in that period of time, not with the resources I had, not with the product that I had. But I didn't know that I couldn't do it. Does that make sense? There won't be much more theory to this, by the way. We're getting close to the end of the theory. This is such a powerful principle, by the way, the greener pastures thing, everybody wants replacement, that we have these mastermind groups all the time, these $25,000 groups. And the most amazing part is, they might not admit it, these cats here that have been there a while. How many of y'all, these guys, who all's been in mastermind more than a couple years? Just you two in the front? Is that it? You could even go to the other people that are in it. How many of you at one time or another have lusted over one of the other people in mastermind's business?
Only every time.
Every time. There's somebody else in that group that all they do is bitch. They pay me a lot of money to come in the room and bitch. Right? All the mastermind people do. My business sucks. This is bad. They're all making shitloads of money, by the way. But they're still bitching. Right? And all they really want to do is do the other guy's business. And he's bitching too. But they're going, well, those problems are easy to overcome. I know how to do that. It's not like my business. My business is just screwed. It's unfixable. Right? But those guys' business, I hit a wrong button. I hit a down button. What's that do? I guess it's something bad. Okay. Yeah. But they all just lust after one another's businesses. Why? Greener pastures. That's why. Because they're familiar with their business. And you're going to understand why in a second, that's so important. The best opportunities, when you're presenting your opportunity to somebody, this is the litmus test of opportunities. The best opportunities were not available to them in the past. They were not available to you in the past. That's a reason when we did an offer like Number One Book System, Kindle didn't exist 6 months before we did that. So that opportunity didn't exist. Right? It has an expiration date. Well, Kindle might fill up. You want to get in while you still can, while they got the doors open for everybody. It's better if this is really good with investing offers. Who's in investing business? Yeah, this is great. You guys need to really pay close attention to this because this is really important. Your business is, you guys tend to sell strategy and mechanics and tools in a toolbox. They don't give a shit. They don't want it. They want the opportunity. The opportunity. That's all they care about. The opportunity. Because if you called all of them tonight and said, hey, I just got an investment tip from Warren Buffett himself. He just called me and told me what he's going to be buying on Friday. Do you want me to buy you some of it? They'd all say yes. They wouldn't ask what it is. They wouldn't ask how long they wouldn't care. They just say yes. And they give you money. So that proves the point. If the opportunity is strong enough, they really just want the opportunity. They don't care about the mechanics at all. They don't care at all, not even a little bit. So all the time you're spending explaining the mechanics is waste. And if you don't believe me, the next time you do a webinar or a sales letter or something, try it. Just talk about this magical opportunity that didn't exist before, and this star, even in the astrology business, you know, the Mercury's in line with Venus and is throwing off this shit here, and then this is going to happen. Buy now. Right? Y'all don't do that, do you? Yeah, I know you do. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, seriously. You know, Facebook's being overtook by the look of the traffic patterns of Facebook, and they're getting more things than this guy's getting, and this is going to happen, and it's for sure going to happen, and there's only going to be one opportunity. If you don't buy it right now while the crosshairs are like this, you're going to miss out. Get in now. It's an opportunity that didn't exist before. How's it all work? I don't care. Right? And tomorrow it won't work no more. You know, they're exclusive or they're limited. You know, you're not going to have this opportunity forever. Only so many people get a chance at this. Because everybody believes something's being kept from them. Everybody believes something's being kept from them. There's little or no risk to status. That was a good thing about the number one book system offer. That's the reason, by the way, that was one of our best offers we've ever done. I think it's done, I don't know, $5 million or some crazy shit like that. It's big money at $300 a piece. One of the reasons why is, what's the worst thing can happen to you? You write the book and nobody buys it. You still got a book at Amazon, you're a published author, and you got something to show your mama. You have no risk in status. It can only elevate your status, period. That's all it could do. Status is everything. The best opportunities do not require a breakup. The best opportunities you can sell don't. If you can teach the guy one day a week, get out of your dental practice and go look for storage units to sell, you're going to get to look for the cheese. It's going to be good for you. You don't have to give up your dental practice. And I'm going to show you how to manage your dental practice a little bit better so you can afford to be out 2 days a week anyway. You know, that gives them new cheese to go hunt. It gives them something to go do. It gives them somebody new to accomplish something. Someone, hey, Charlie, I know you're sick of your wife. Why don't you go with me on Fridays and let's go to the Hootie Bar and look at girls? You know, you don't have to get away. You don't have to really do anything wrong. Let's just go look. You know, they'll enjoy the hunt, right? Who saw Hall Pass? Was that funny as hell? It's about the way that would go to. And if it has a passion or purpose element, that's even better. It's not required, but it's a benefit if it has it. In other words, if it brings some passion to them. Screw looking for ideas. Only look for opportunities. You don't need new ideas. You just need to find opportunities to seize upon. I read the Wall Street Journal and 5 or 6 other newspapers every day. The Wall Street Journal is the best at showing new opportunities. Read it for a week and tell me you don't change your life. I promise you it will. It really will. Number 5, people are bored to death. They need a Superman. They need a hero in their life. They need it so desperately bad. If you're not more exciting than them, you ain't going to sell them anything. That's the truth of that. So if you're not willing to be a little crazy, a little eccentric, a little whatever, a little over the top, larger than life, you're not going to do as well as the guy that is. If you're not this guy, if you're not this lady, then go find somebody to be the face of your product that is. That's important. How to be a hero. You got to have an interesting evolution story. You got to have parables. In other words, lessons and sayings and, you know, things like that. You got to be, it's cool if you're funny. Humor's good. Right? Accomplishments. People want to hear about your accomplishments. People want to hear about your flaws. You need a dogma, a principle, a set of principles that you live by in life, right? If you're the character pitching the thing. You got to have a special language that only you use or the industry uses. It's good if you're a little weird. Ezra Firestone's an e-commerce guy we're doing a product with, a great guy. I knew I hit money with him when I found out he grew up on a hippie commune. That's where he was raised. He was raised with like 200 parents, right? And they were all freewheeling about everything, right? Is that going to make him more interesting to talk about? You betcha. Going to be easy. And he's got success behind him. He's an interesting guy. He's well-spoken. He's likable. Likable and approachable. Who's ever heard you can't get elected president if people don't want to sit down and drink a beer with you? It's true. You know, people want to be approachable. People want to be around people, they're heroes, to be approachable. The best people, if you want to learn how to do this better than anybody else, read lots and lots of comic books. These guys do a fantastic job at character development. There are a bunch of books on character development in comic books, especially Marvel comics, better than DC comics. DC comics, Marvel comics started well after DC comics did and soared past them as the bigger company because DC was Superman and a couple others. Superman and Batman, I think. Marvel is Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk and all that. The reason why Marvel realized that they needed better backstories, more complex characters. You know, like right now, I watched this thing about television, about TV shows not long ago. It was a great documentary called 100 Years. It's 100 Years. It's not 100 Years on television, but something like that. It's put out by A&E. And it was a documentary about how television has changed over the last 50 years, or 50 years of television, I guess. You know, back in the day, who remembers Gunsmoke and Matt Dillon? Anybody? Yeah. So was Matt Dillon ever going to screw Miss Kitty and steal the money from the bad guy? No, he was never going to do it. You knew it. He was never going to do the wrong thing. He's always going to do the right thing. He was a single-dimensional character. That was DC Comics, right? The Marvel took a different spin. And now they were so right because who are the heroes on TV now? House, right? Dexter. He's a serial killer hero. I love Dexter. He's awesome. And at the end of the day, you know what? You don't want to see him get caught. You just don't. Every week you're like, oh shit, he's going to get caught. But he doesn't. And that's good. I watched Mike Tyson fight Lennox Lewis in Memphis, Tennessee on the third row. It was fantastic. You went in the room. Mike Tyson was one of the most hated men in America. He'd bit off of Vander Holyfield's ear. Nobody would give him a boxing license except for Memphis because it's a classy joint. And he went to Memphis to fight Lennox Lewis. And when he came out, everybody in the place booed him horribly. It was terrible. And Lennox Lewis came out and everybody cheered. And there were a bunch of people there from England. I don't like them anyway. They were sitting next to me. And I'm just kidding. They're all right. It's Germans I really hate. Any Germans? No, I'm kidding. I know there's a German fellow here. But they're sitting next to me. I made a joke because I had hacked my tickets. I'd bought tickets for like $400 and they'd pay like $3,000. At the end of the fight, they're like, well, we showed you. You don't know. Yeah. Well, it was worth watching the fight for $300. See ya. And that was my screw. Anyway, but the funny part was, so they come out, they start fighting, and Tyson starts beating up Lewis, and they're booing him to death, right? And it's just like, God, this is awful. And all of a sudden, Lennox Lewis comes back and starts hitting Tyson. He hits him a few good times. And Tyson gets off the rope and looks like he's going to make a comeback and starts swinging back. And the place just erupts for Tyson. They start cheering for him, right? Because they wanted to see him regain it. They wanted to see him come back up because they thought he's all washed up. But man, he might have a shot. He might be coming back. And the whole place almost became teary-eyed for Mike Tyson to win that fight, which subsequently he did not win. But it was an amazing to watch a room just go in minutes. They totally reversed their position. And Marvel does a great job with that. If you look at their characters, if you look at House, House drives his car through the lady he loves, House, and almost kills her. Totally unpredictable. That's what characters are today because characters are multifaceted and complex. That's what people want to know about you. That's why they want to know so much about you. Now I'm going to show you a little inside secret. I'm going to do some things this weekend to you and then tell you that I did them to you. All right? Like Taiwan, is that what you said? This is me in a mind map. These are my parables. These are my insider language, my likability, my flaws. And if you'll look here, you'll see some things that are familiar. Paducah, Kentucky. I was a Star Trek fan. My dad died at 14. Had a mean stepdad, airbrushing tattoos. Sound familiar? Right? $85,000. I haven't told you the launch. These are all of my stories. This is every story that I tell. All listed here that I can remember. What don't I like? Judgmental assholes. Old rich scumbags. Silicon Valley. Hipsters. Lazy people. Naysayers. Regulators. Bureaucrats. Fakes. Waste. Bad ads. Opportunity cost. I love the guy on Shark Tank that says you are a murderer of money. Mr. Wonderful. He's my favorite, right? Because he hates murderers of money, right? I hate opportunity costs. I hate time suckers, going down rabbit holes, ad agencies, old ideas, inaction, right? What things did I do bad? I drank. I did a lot of cocaine when I was younger. I gambled away $1 million one weekend. That's a no-shitter. I divorced a lot. A lot. I'm hard to live with, thus does the divorce. I bite my nails. I'm an insomniac, right? It keeps going. You could just go, I have no memory at all. I don't remember what I said 5 minutes ago. I got arrested in 2008. I told that story. I was a high school dropout. I can't spell shit with a mouthful. I hate dumb people. I'm a little foul-mouthed, if you hadn't noticed. These are, who said little? Come on. No. I had a Pentecostal grandmother. I'll tell more of this stuff as I go. I had a Pentecostal grandmother. This is stuff that might make me likable. I like Corvettes, Cadillacs, and Harley Davidsons. Means I'm a good old red-blooded American boy. I'm a redneck. I wish I was a country singer. See all this stuff? Accomplishments, I sold $200 million worth of stuff. I can write 10,000 words a day when I'm writing sales letters. I can write 10,000 words a day. That's a crap load of words. I read 300 books a year. I wrote a 334-page book one time in one day. I read 5 or 6 newspapers a day. I speed read, so I kind of scan. I don't really read. But these are stuff that I do that people might think is exceptional. What's my dogma? The 12 lessons of sales acceleration, the 7-step sales system, 21-step perfect pitch formula. Notice numbers in all this, right? This is my dogma. People will only give you their money when they first given you their time, right? All that stuff going down to there, right? You see what I just did? I just dropped more of that on you, right? While I'm teaching the lesson, I'm dropping more of that on you. You guys know more about me again, right? Some of you are going to say, wow, that's cool. Some of you are going to see it for what it actually is, that I'm, half a bubble from a total addict and probably a lunatic, and you don't want anything to do with me. That's fine. But, the thing is, most people are just waiting to die. They're looking to you for excitement. You have to be exciting in your marketing or in your sales or you'll die. Go to casinos. That's what you'll see. Little old lady smoking cigarettes, pulling slot machine handles. It is depressing. Right? But they're doing it because, why are they doing it? By the millions. Excitement. They got to have a little bit of excitement or let's go ahead and die. Women go shoe shopping. Men go to hootie bars. Just excitement, right? Here's the cycle of boredom. I want you to think about this, and I think we're getting close to a break. I got about a minute before we break for lunch. This is the cycle of boredom. I want you to tell me what I'm talking about. You're really interested, right? You're attracted. Then you're hot and bothered. Then it's all new and exciting. Then it gets comfortable. Then you get a little bored. Then it's kind of stalled. Then you're trapped. Then you're in utter despair. Then you start looking for options. But you fear change. You fear failure. But finally you break through. What am I talking about? Talking about everything. I'm talking about every single thing in your life. I'm talking about everything in your life. I challenge you to tell me I'm wrong. You don't have to really type all this. You get the slides, but if y'all want to, knock yourself out. I'm only going to sit here stalled for about a minute because I'm already up on time. When's the last time that you bought clothes because you needed them? When's the last time you bought pants because you just didn't have a single solitary pair of pants to wear? Right? But you know what? You were interested in the pants when you bought them. Eventually they were awesome. They were new and exciting. Then they got worn in. They felt good. Then you got bored with them. You don't wear them no more. Then you threw them in the back of the closet. Then eventually you're like, God, I really don't want to go buy jeans. I've already got lots of jeans. And you have a guilty thing about it. Who does that? I do that all the time. I don't want to go buy more clothes because I already got a lot of clothes. But I don't care because you know what I want? New clothes. Tried that with wives for a long time. Then you're just utter despair. Oh, shit, man. I'm just sick of wearing these jeans. I don't want to wear them anymore. And you start shopping for new jeans, right? But you're like, I don't know if I'm going to like these jeans as much as I like the old ones. And what if they don't fit? And then I've wasted my money. And then finally you go, screw it. I want some new jeans. And you just buy some new jeans. That's a low-level decision. That's a low-level decision. Right? Bigger decisions in life, obviously, a little more significant. Excuse me. It's Mom. All right. Victoria, call your grandmother. That was Mom just calling me from stage. Yes, yeah, hopefully not. So that's true with your clothes. It's true with your relationships. True with your car, for sure. It's true with your business, your job. Tell me that isn't like wicked true about your job if you work for somebody, right? You get a new job, you're interested. Wow, it's really that you're just engulfed with it. The next thing you're all excited. Then it's like, yeah, I can do this pretty good. Then you get bored, then you get stalled, then you feel trapped in the job because it pays you too much money to quit and go look for another job. And then you're in utter despair. You hate it. You start looking at the want ads, but you fear losing the job you got because you're already pretty good at it. And you fear failure at the new job, but eventually you say, screw it, I'm going to get a new job. Sex, jeans, cars, don't matter. Investments, doesn't matter. Cell phones. How many of y'all have the iPhone? Right? You bought it because you really needed a new phone, right? How many of you buy every damn iPhone that comes out the day it comes out? Tuna fish, that's what we all are. We're tunas. They got us trained, right? Like little parakeets. I can't run through this before we break. Okay, we're going to stop there. We are getting close to being done with theory. I just want to give you guys because I don't want you to think you're coming here to listen to me the whole time and not actually work. But if you don't understand this before you start to write, what you write won't be what you need to get. Is that okay? All right. So next we're going to talk about the only one thing in the world that moves people. There's only one, and that's status. So we'll talk about that when we get back from lunch. Take a break for how long, Deanna? Oh, by the way, one of the gentlemen from Germany, where's my friend from Germany at? Yeah. He said he's buying everybody's steak, right? No, that's not what he said. But he said if anybody wants to get together and y'all do a group steak dinner tonight somewhere, he's got some nice place to go if anybody in the group wants to go. Really nice fellow, has a good-sized business in Germany. If you guys want to go, especially mastermind members, I think. So, you know why he wants to go? Because the steak in Germany tastes like shit. That's why.
I'm in Texas. I want to have a
There you go. But anyway, get with him if you want to do that. I will see you back in here at 2:30. All right? Bye-bye. Thank you.